Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the iModernize podcast. My name is Miranda Van Horn, and I work in the marketing department at Profound Logic. Today, I'm here to introduce you to the host of our podcast, Amanda Blackburn. Amanda, can you please introduce yourself and tell us briefly what your role is at Profound Logic?
I am the Director of Marketing at Profound Logic Software, and I am in charge of basically just making sure that the world knows about Profound Logic, what we do, and all the benefits that we offer customers with our products and services.
Awesome. Sounds very important. And
Sort of, I guess.
and what was your experience before Profound, and then what kind of brought you over here?
Yeah, so I've been with Profound Logic for close to 9 years. I think it's 9 years in November. I previously had also worked in technology software for other businesses. Kind of started out in advertising of all things. Well, I started out in corporate communications, but then I moved to advertising, which was really interesting. And then from there, I grew into product marketing management and then, directing a department. So it's been cool because I've been able to see all the different areas of marketing and actually having the opportunity to be involved in that. So yeah, so it's really fun at Profound Logic to be able to do that and to bring all the teams together and help contribute to letting the world know about who we are.
Awesome. Speaking of that, what do you hope to accomplish with the iModernize podcast?
Yeah, so the reason why we put this podcast together, and I guess the reason why you're interviewing me so people actually know who I am when they see and hear my voice on a podcast, is a couple of reasons. So right now the world is in a very strange place. So COVID has impacted people in all sorts of ways, most of the time negatively. But it's also changed the way that I think businesses and customers are communicating. And one of the ways that I see people kind of using this time during COVID is to help educate themselves about all sorts of topics. And one of the best ways to do that, in my opinion, is with podcasts. They're easy to take part in. You just listen to them, and you get to choose, which topics interest you. And so that's kind of what I was thinking is, hey, a podcast would be a really good way to give people information, during this time. But also, one of the things I'm really proud of at Profound Logic, and I think the community is pretty well aware of this, is, we have an embarrassment of riches of talent at our team. So, we're talking everybody from Scott Clement to, Brian May to Mike Pavlak to John Valence, and even our CEO, Alex Reitman, who's very well known and a speaker in the community. So, having all of this talent at our fingertips, I feel like, being able to connect the world to them and hear from them, in future podcasts about what they're excited about technology wise, ways that they can contribute and help people who are using the IBMI. All of those are reasons why I was like, what, a podcast makes sense, so hopefully other people feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you spoke a little bit about this, but what technological developments are you keeping your eye on, both inside of Profound Logic and in the industry as a whole?
I think right now is a really interesting time. Again, COVID is probably part of it, but I think over the years we've really seen a shift in businesses on IBMI who originally thought, they were kind of hemmed in by this technology, even though the IBMI, we all know, is a very modern platform. IBM, puts a lot of R&D into making sure that it's the latest and greatest version. We also know that the way that some businesses utilize the platform is not as modern as they could be. And one of the things that I think a lot of businesses are being, well, not just one, but many ways that businesses are being challenged right now is that there's so many innovative, disruptive technologies that are happening. We're at this kind of crossroads where businesses are no longer like looking at cloud as, oh, is that weird? Should we even get involved in it? What's the security like? Or other types of technologies, Internet of Things, AI, like businesses are legitimately looking at how these technologies can help benefit their business and also take them into the future. So what I'm excited about is being able to demonstrate to businesses on IBMI how they can get from point A to point B, how they can be innovative, just by making some updates to the way that they are utilizing the IBMI in their system. And also, I know the previous podcast we had spoken with some of the men who are on our team who are involved in code transformation, and so talking to Mike Pavlak, they're talking to Michael Killian and Jordan Antonoff, who oversees the sales and marketing efforts at Profound. That's something that's very exciting because we're helping businesses that may think they're limited by the code or by the way their databases are set up, or any of these other lack of documentation, retiring developers. Like, they look at all of those as hurdles, and what is exciting about right now is I feel like Profound is able to go to those companies and say, we don't look at those as hurdles, we look at those as opportunities, because there are solutions available either through us or through our partners to help you alleviate some of those challenges or mitigate those challenges, and make sure that your business is connected, make sure systems are integrated, make sure there's no siloed development, make sure that the code you put out is like clean and modularized, and make sure that your systems are portable and ready for the cloud, whether it's on-prem, off-prem, or hybrid. So when you ask me what technologies excite me right now, I'm like, all of them. And I think that I'm really excited to share more of that with the community as the months go by.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of exciting technological developments happening in the industry right now. So what sort of things can we look forward to hearing about in future episodes?
Good question. Well, first and foremost, I want to make sure that the community is, able to give feedback to us, and I would love that. So I'm actually going to share my email address right now, and we can maybe add this into the description of the podcast. A Blackburn, BLACKBURN at profoundlogic.com. You can also reach marketing at profoundlogic.com. Either way, that'll get to me. I would love to hear from the community what they would like to hear about. And that would be, first and foremost, I want to make sure that we're delivering the type of information that they want to hear. But I'm also really excited, and I think you will be as well, because I think you're going to be helping me with this, is actually just talking to some of the people on our team, some of these experts like Scott Clement, like Brian May, letting the community hear from them and get to know them a little bit better on more of a personal level, not just a business level. But I would also like to, make sure that, more than anything, I just want to educate, developers, business leaders on what's possible. So some of the topics we spoke about earlier, I would love to be able to help, bring very thoughtful, very knowledgeable people on board with the podcast to help alleviate some of the concerns and the fears, and what does the future look like on this platform, and make sure that we're helping to provide a blueprint of what they can really do with their system. I'd also like to bring in actual end users, so actual customers, or developers who've been working on the IBMI for a while, some of our partners, especially the ones around the world. We have partners in Germany and Italy and, Colombia. And so I'd love to bring them on board and have them share their experience with, what businesses on the IBMI are looking for right now in their region. So lots of opportunities for conversations, which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like a lot of really exciting and fun things are in our future in the iModernize podcast. So I just want to wrap up and say thank you so much for your time, Amanda, and I look forward to all of the new and exciting topics we will dive into with this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for putting this together. And yeah, you guys will be hearing from me soon.
Great. And for those listening, thanks for joining us and goodbye for now.